Okay, so, um, ready to dive into something kind of juicy.
Always. Hit me with it.
Okay, so everyone's talking about AI, right?
Yeah, it's like inescapable these days.
Right. And it's everything from like self-driving cars, which still kind of freak me out,
Understandably.
to, well, podcasts that sound suspiciously human.
The robots are coming for your job.
Right. But seriously, what happens when actually using this tech, like in your work,
Mm.
gets you shamed?
Oh, interesting. You mean like there's a stigma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sent over this letter to the editor, AI shaming, the silent stigma among academic writers and researchers. It's perfect for our dink dive today.
Ooh, I remember this one. Published just a couple months ago in the Annals of Biomedical Engineering.
Exactly,
Yeah.
written by Louis Jouret.
And that detail right there, the publication itself, is super interesting. We're talking about biomedical engineering, a field already like knee-deep in complex tech.
Right.
If they're anxious about AI, what does that say about the rest of us?
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, Louis Jouret, he's tackling this idea of AI shaming, especially, and this is key, for people like him, academics, people using AI in their work.
Makes sense. Like, we always hear about tech in these abstract terms, but this is about real people using it.
Exactly. And he defines AI shaming as this almost instinctive criticism, a stigma against folks who are incorporating AI tools. It's like this silent pressure, particularly in academia, where traditionally human intellect is king.
Yeah, it's like we're supposed to be above using tools to help us think.
Exactly. And to really drive it home, Gray gives some examples that make you go, ouch. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, give me the worst case scenario.
All right. So picture this. You're a researcher. You've poured your heart into this article. Submit it to a prestigious journal.
Hoping for your big break.
Exactly. And then rejection.
Yeah.
But not any rejection. The editor found out you used AI for brainstorming and dismissed the whole thing out of hand.
Oh, that's brutal. Talk about adding insult to injury.
Right. Or another one, a young researcher super excited about using AI to polish their writing, make it even more impactful.
Sure, why not?
Suddenly, they're facing accusations of cheating from senior colleagues.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's rough. Talk about a punch to the gut.
It's like they're being penalized for embracing the future.
It's so true. And you're not going to believe this, but get this, Jouret himself actually admits to using ChatGPT while writing this very same article we're discussing.
I know, right? Talk about putting your money where your mouth is.
He's not shying away from the conversation. He's leaning in.
Exactly. And that's what makes his perspective so refreshing. He's not just pointing fingers at the shamers. He's advocating for transparency, for a balanced approach to AI in academia.
Which, let's be honest, feels pretty rare in the current climate of either AI is going to steal our jobs or AI can solve all our problems.
It's exhausting. And this fear of change, this knee-jerk reaction to AI, it's not just coming from one place. Jouret identifies different types of, as he calls them, AI shamers.
Oh, this should be good.
Yeah.
Give us the rundown. Who are these AI shamers?
Well, first up, you've got your, how to put this? Let's call them traditionalists. These are the folks who are deeply invested in the old ways of doing things. They see AI as a threat to the established order,
Yeah.
to the tried and true methods they've built their careers on.
Right. The if it ain't broke, don't fix it crowd.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Then
Yeah.
you have the technophobes.
Nah, yes.
Pretty self-explanatory, but as you can guess, these are the folks who are just generally afraid of technology, especially anything that seems even remotely close to, like, true artificial intelligence.
Ah, yes, the AI is going to take over the world and turn us all into paperclips crowd. Okay, so we've got the traditionalists clinging to the old ways and the technophobes hiding from the robots. Who else is on team AI shaming?
Right, right. So next up, you've got the elitists.
Ooh, okay. This is where it gets juicy.
Yeah, and this is where it gets interesting because it's about more than just, like, fear of change. It's about power.
Right. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
For some elitists, AI represents a threat to their status. Think about it. If anyone can use AI to analyze data, write reports, even generate creative text formats, what happens to the exclusive value of their expertise?
That's a really good point. It's like Jouret is suggesting AI has the potential to democratize knowledge. And that's a scary thought for some people who benefit from the current system.
Precisely. And this ties into another group Jouret calls out the Luddites. He's drawing a parallel to those 19th century textile workers who famously smashed the newfangled weaving machines.
Oh, right, because they saw those machines as a threat to their livelihoods.
Exactly. And while the context is different, the underlying fear is similar technology disrupting the existing social and economic order. For some, it's not just about, like, losing their job. It's about losing a whole way of life, which is a huge thing to process.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of emotion tied up in this, even though we're talking about seemingly neutral tools.
Absolutely. And that brings us to our final category, the misunderstanders. These are people who simply don't grasp what AI is or how it works. They hear buzzwords like algorithms, machine learning, and their minds just jump to like sci-fi doomsday scenarios.
Which, let's be honest, doesn't help the whole AI is going to take over the world narrative.
Exactly. It's like, come on, people. Jerry argues that this lack of understanding just breeds more fear and suspicion.
So, okay, if these are the AI shamers, what's the solution? How do we combat this and move towards a more, I don't know, balanced, informed perspective?
Well, Jerry seems to believe that education and open dialogue are key. We need to demystify AI, explain it in clear, accessible terms.
So, like, less jargon, more plain English.
Exactly. And most importantly, we need to be having honest conversations about both its potential benefits and its risks, without shying away from either.
Right, because, like any powerful tool, it can be used for good or for bad. But shutting down the conversation altogether, that just keeps us in the dark, you know?
Precisely. And the consequences of AI shaming, they go beyond just, like, hurt feelings.
You mean it has real-world implications?
Absolutely. For starters, it stifles innovation. Imagine being a bright young academic, eager to use AI to push the boundaries of your field.
I'd be stoked.
Right. But you hesitate, worried about being ridiculed or ostracized by your peers. That fear can be paralyzing.
It's like we're discouraging people from exploring the full potential of these incredible tools. Just because of, like, some unspoken taboo, it's almost like we're holding ourselves back from a future where, like, these tools could help us unlock some crazy potential, solve some of the world's biggest problems even.
Exactly. And it's not just about the big picture, like saving the world stuff either.
Okay, bring it down to earth for me.
Think about the individual researcher, right? Hunched over their desk, late at night, struggling to make sense of a mountain of data.
Been there.
What if AI could help them analyze that data more efficiently, free up their time and mental energy to focus on the bigger questions, the more creative aspects of their work?
It's like we're almost denying the human element by insisting on doing everything the hard way.
Yes. And that brings us to a really fascinating concept Jure introduces: post-digital academic writing.
Post-digital. Okay, I like the sound of that. But break it down for me. What does he actually mean by that?
It's basically Jure's vision of a future where AI isn't this separate, scary thing, but is seamlessly integrated into the entire research and writing process.
Interesting.
Think of it like this. You're writing a paper, and your AI system is right there with you, helping you gather references, suggest relevant studies, even, like, refine your arguments.
So it's not about AI replacing the researcher,
Yeah.
but, like, augmenting their abilities.
Exactly. It's like having a super-powered research partner, helping you work smarter, not harder.
I like the sound of that. Which actually brings us back to G-Ray's bold stance. He's not just advocating for using AI, he's calling for transparency.
Right.
Like, he straight up believes academics should be upfront about when and how they're using these tools.
He sees it as a way to normalize AI in academia. If we're all open about using it, it becomes less taboo, less susceptible to the whole shaming thing.
It's like saying, hey, I'm using every tool at my disposal to produce the best possible work. And yeah, that includes AI. Why not, right?
Exactly. And that shift in attitude, that openness to new ways of working, that's what G-Ray believes will ultimately drive progress.
Instead of holding us back, which is what's happening now with all this AI shaming.
That's true.
So it's about moving beyond this idea of us versus them, humans versus machines, and embracing the possibility of a future where we work together.
Collaborate.
Yes, each leveraging our own strengths to achieve something amazing.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
And that's what I find so compelling about Dira's letter. It's not just a critique of AI shaming, it's a call to action, you know? He's challenging us to rethink our relationship with technology.
To, like, be open to change.
Exactly. To be open to change and to approach the future with a sense of curiosity and possibility rather than fear.
I love it. It's inspiring, really. So for everyone listening, as you go back to your own work, your own relationship with these ever-evolving tools, ask yourself, where do you stand?
Yeah, good question.
Are you open to the possibilities, or are you, like, holding back, clinging to the old ways?
Because the future just might depend on it.
Truth. And that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. We hope this conversation has given you a lot to think about. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deeper.